everyone. Welcome to another interesting episode of Mike's Choice 1 travel series. So it is a ghost city, correct? Why, only like 20 people live in this city now. But in the bygone era, this was the first township in Victoria which had electricity. Yes, even Melbourne got electricity after this township. Yes, I know you would say, wow, is it true? Yes, it is true. And the funniest part is after this township lost its importance, it was even the last township to receive electricity under main grid connectivity. Yes, that is also true. So what is this place? Let me welcome you to Valhalla. Experience life as it was in historic Valhalla. Once one of Australia's richest towns and home to over 4,000 gold seekers, this sleepy mountainside town is now frozen in time and is home to only 20 residents. When travelling in Valhalla, you will be visiting the lands of the Gunai people. To learn about the 680 kilometers trail, please be with us towards the end. Now we are at the Valhalla Goldfield Railway station. Spend an unforgettable day with friends at Valhalla Goldfields Railway. Relax and take in the breathtaking views as the train wins its way through the spectacular Stringer's Gorge on what is considered one of the country's most picturesque rail journeys. Winding through the gorge, you will cross 7 bridges and reach Thompson River Bridge. Upon arrival at Thompson Station, passengers disembark and have the opportunity to peruse the station and surroundings before reboarding for your return journey. But to take this journey, you need to book the ticket in advance. Here we see departure from Valhalla Goldfield Station. On this day, we could not get on board as we had not booked it. Okay, so you could not take the train, but the good news is, if you missed the train like we did, you can have a nice meal and a coffee at this restaurant. After we had a cup of coffee, we drove to Valhalla Long Tunnel Mine Tour Office. Yes, we had booked this well in advance and they had our tickets with them. This is much cheaper than the amount charged by Ballarat. Then there is a small museum too. Hidden away deep in a steep valley in Gippsland, Victoria, Australia, Valhalla is 2.5 hours away from Melbourne. The railway arrived in 1910, just a few short years before the closure of the mines in 1914. Ironically, instead of being used to bring new buildings to Valhalla and grow the town, the railway was used to remove many of the buildings after the mines closed. After collecting your tickets and having a look at the museum, you could wait at the tool shop and also collect a hard hat. Hard hat is part of the safety procedures that you need to follow. This is mandatory. Then you hear this loud whistle to say it is time to queue up for the tour. Okay, Now let us move ahead with the mine tour.
45, 50 minutes, it depends how long we want to be underground for. Here in Walhalla we get alluvial gold. We don't get big nuggets like Ballarat and Bendigo. If you're looking for gold, it's called granular finer gold. Back in about 1862, the government in Victoria put out a £100 reward for prospectors to look for gold in Victoria. So that was like a year's worth of wage. This creek that runs through Walhalla, it's named Stringer's Creek. It actually comes straight through to the Thompson Bridge. Everyone would have driven over the Thompson Bridge to actually get to Walhalla. A man named Ned Stringer, named after this creek, he found a lot of gold in that where the fork comes into Thompson Bridge. So much gold in that water, he didn't even have to get into the water, there was that much. He brought a quick gold rush to Walhalla. It wasn't a town back then, but when it was a town, it was called Stringers. So it was all bush, what have you, no one living here, all bush. He brought a quick gold rush here. Over 3,000 people moved to Walhalla looking for that gold. And within 3 or 4 months, that gold was quickly taken out of the creek beds, just for everyone trying to get that reward too. Another man, about just a couple of months later, after the gold left, was disappeared. He wanted to find the source of the gold, so it had to get to the creeks from somewhere. He's gone for a walk along this bush line up here and seen quartz reef. So it's a big grain of quartz rock. We do have a big rock over there in the next to the ore carts and over there, so that is a quartz rock. You get a lot of quartz. That is actually from the reef that they found up there. So we get reefs in Victoria and Australia. You get earthquakes move, they'll form reefs, which, yeah, quartz reefs, and that's where you find gold. Where in Victoria they run north and south. I don't know, I'm not a geologist, but they do. They just run north and south. These guys could see that quartz poking up with the gold in it. They knew it was running north and south in the ground. Earlier mines started mining this quartz up there, where shareholders raised about £14,000 3 years later to start this mine. So this started in 1865, this mine. The quartz reef is running south and north like this, and we're going to tunnel in and hit the quartz that way. It took a long time to find that quartz, which I'll explain a bit later on, but that's their aim. They're just trying to find it coming this way. Before we do go in, I'll get everyone to walk between the tracks if I can in a single line, because it is quite wet as well and we don't want to bunch up with each other. Also, it's about 10 degrees cooler from outside. It's quite still in there today. It's only 13.4. And the rain takes about 14 days to get into this part of the mine. So it takes about 14 days to get down here. So it does get wet quite towards the end. So anyone that's in thongs or what have you, we do have a tap at the back there if you get mud on your feet. Yeah, sorry about the mud. We do also get glowworms in here. You're welcome to take photos of glowworms and what have you. They glow because they're trying to attract food. We're way too big for them to eat, so don't worry or buy it. And they die off in winter, come back in summer, so we're getting a little bit more and more of them. They don't like light, so keep your flash off if you're going to take a photo. They'll come up better on your phone anyway. So we're going to walk just under 300 metres on the side of the hill here, power all without, the mine, and also backup power if we need it. So I'm going to count you all your heads in. Whoever wants to start walking first, just wait for the sign for me. So there's a sign just up there, just wait there for me and I'll... That's all right. Glowworms, so keep your eye out, you'll see them. They look like little stars. They're all along here as well.
Oh, here you are.
Yes.
Can see
Is
it.
that you? No?
Can you see?
Yeah.
I'm trying to capture the glowworms. Glowworms. You can see the glowworms. Lot of them. Let's go.
Took us about 2 minutes of walking to get to here. We're only 115 metres so far. To took the miners 2 years just to get to here. Remember, they hand pretty much like shovel, sledgehammers, brought their own wheelbarrows in to clear that rock out. They need to drill holes into the rock like this, but they didn't have drills. They drill holes in the rock just so they can put black powder or gunpowder in the rock and blast the rock. They invented this metal bar. This is their drill, pretty much. It's called a tap. Anyone work in a mine? No? That's good, I'll keep talking. You're going to be the girl. 20 holes after they'll put black powder or gunpowder in. Put a fuse here, because when they light the fuse, they don't want it to blast this way, they want it to go in the rock. So all this rock is called marine slate. Would have been out of the ocean billions of years ago. No quartz at all in this. Yeah. A lot of dust happening when they're drilling through that rock or even blasting through it. They invented this rock drill. It was called an air compressed drill or a rock hammer or jackhammer, I should say. It was run on air, so that's how it worked. It made a lot of dust in here, so miners were getting quite sick breathing that dust in, getting silicosis or miner's lung. The youngest man was 14 working this mine. If he was working this every day, he would be dead by the time he was 25 just breathing that dust in. If that didn't kill him, this machine either would blow up in your hand, and it would be like holding a live grenade in your hand, and that's another, injury or death, pretty much. They ended up calling it, all they did is invent this rod. It's got a hole on each end, so one there and one at the top there. That's injected with water, which cools the machine down. Would have sat on something like that. Cools the machine down, but it took that dust away as well. So miners weren't dying anymore. They didn't think about the dust, I was trying to think about the machine's life, but it saved a lot of lives. All miners had to bring their own tools, like I said before, and they had to supply their own candles as well. So they have special candles made for the miners to burn 8 hours. They need to know how long they're underground for. This is called a miner's spider. It's just your candle holder, pretty much. It just gets tapped into the rock, like so, and your candle will sat in it. You can see. Every level, so there's 32 crib rooms in this mine. All they got was a 10-minute break and a toilet bucket. Miners were they were actually known for stealing gold in their toilet bucket. So the actual manager wanted to put a stop to it. So they ended up hiring one guy to clean out 32 levels of 200 men's bucket. Very well paying job, but a crappy job. Also they'd hide gold inside of their caps, like they'd wear caps like that on the wall there. Rub it in on their alluvial gold, take it home to their wives to comb their hair out. That was another way of stealing gold. They whitewashed water.
After the mine tour, we walked around to see old miners' cottages, etc. I believe these would have been belonging to top management team. There were boards even telling us as to what they are. Most of these are now tourist bungalows. Gold was first discovered in Valhalla by Ned Stringer in 1862, in a small creek running into the Thompson River. Ned quickly laid his claim and word spread of his find. With the lure of gold to be found, the town quickly grew, becoming a thriving community. There were 10 hotels, 3 breweries, 7 churches, and over 30 shops. Valhalla was even the first country town outside Melbourne to have electric street lighting, courtesy of the boilers which generated power to run the machinery in the gold mines. For many years, Valhalla slept virtually abandoned in its deep valley. Today, many buildings have been meticulously recreated, including the Mechanics Institute, the old post office, fire station, and the corner store, a museum. Take a stroll up the main street, past the original stone retaining wall and the fire station straddling Stringers Creek, and explore spectacular views of the township from the tramline walking track, once used to transport or carts. So next we drove down to town centre and took a stroll.
sees that, and she puts that in, looks in there. Hello Fred, how you going? Oh, you want to talk to Mary? Hang on Fred. Then she plugged in Mary and says, hello Mary, how you going? How's the washing? How's the church? Talk. Poor Fred's still waiting. And then she said, you want to talk to Fred? Okay. Now,
Valhalla Post and Telegraph Office is certainly a place to visit. It is full of history.
she can listen to everything that I said. Like Facebook listens to everything that's said. Now, make it worse, there was one telephone line going up the valley and we had 11 subscribers. So the first one might have been, that's his ring. The second one 2 and the third one 3, so on. You're number 11 and you hear, not for you, is it? But if you very carefully lift that off and let it up slowly so it doesn't go click, you too can listen to everything that's being said. No secrets. You don't tell your boyfriend when your husband's in the mine working to come and say good day, do you? Everyone would know. The bush telegraph, that is. Now, in this room, all the wallpapers got ruined because rain got in, but the tables and benches are all the originals. Now, on the walls we had wallpaper, underneath them newspaper because that was cheap, and then underneath that was hessian to hold it all, to give it a base. The newspapers are all January, February and March of 1886 and they're all the Melbourne Argus. That closed in 1957. Over there to the left of that gentleman is an original 1875 Melbourne Argus newspaper.
Oh.
And we bought that a few years ago. After the Argus closed, all of their portfolio, we don't know where it went, but about 10 years ago somebody started to sell them. So you can go and read an actual 150-year-old newspaper. But the reason I mention it, round the corner on the right is the music I used to listen to. Remember, I'm 79, so it's a bit old. Now, round here is a gramophone from the 1920s, which you have to wind up. Still works. Now, I know you young people will go, oh, that's not music. The record itself probably from the late 50s, early 60s, but the mixes are from the 1920s. You get maybe 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes to each side. Now, can you imagine if your song is 10 minutes?
Can we see the inside? No, you can't?
I don't know how to get into it, probably from the back. But if you, when you look there, there's a little pointer dead centre there.
Yeah.
And it's an AM
That's a
dial.
tuning.
Yeah, so that's your tuning.
Yep.
And it would have tuned into what would have been called Melbourne 3LO, which was 770.
That's the medium wave again.
Yeah, medium wave. And it 1932.
Wow,
This
wow.
one's from the 1920s. So 3-volt.
These are batteries?
Yeah, those two are little original.
It's a dry cell.
Yeah, dry cell, yeah. So, yeah.
Apart from those historic places, if you want to enjoy a cool beer or a meal, they do have a bit of restaurants too. Then if you are keen to do a bit of hiking, you can take a walk along the old tram track trail too. This is where you will find the incredible 680 kilometers bush walking trail. Yes, and it is through the Australian Alps. We do not recommend taking this, and we are not going to be responsible if you take this long trek and get into trouble without proper preparation and guidance.
Australian Alps Walking Track. The walk from Walhalla to Canberra.
Yeah. In the early 1970s, Federation of Victorian Walking Clubs established Alpine Walking Track. So the Victorian High Country, since then the track has been extended all the way to Canberra. That's the one, right?
Yes, yes.
And this is how they have gone. Just this way.
Yeah, but we can...
Talking about hiking, we got even more. 680 kilometers, that
So
is
guys,
incredible.
This is the start to the national park in ACT, Australian Capital Territory. It is 680 kilometers you can walk through. And these are the places. You know, in 7 kilometers you will find the Old Street Bridge, then Mount Erica, Mount Bogong, 267 kilometers, Mount Kosciuszko, and Namaji National Park. Long walk. Somebody wants to do it. Nice.
So definitely Valhalla got a lot of things to offer, including place to stay. If you want, you can do a day trip with kids. And if you are ready to do a lot of bushwalking. With that, we are going to end this tour and hope you enjoyed this video and hope you would subscribe our channel for more stories like this. Thank you.